Ready? Aim!
There's too many!
Anyone see my mammoth?
Stubby!
Sure.
Welcome, guys. Hello, Chris and Johannes in chat. They're already saying hello. This week, I'm joined by Teemu down in the bottom corner here. Those of you who recognise Teemu from previous episodes, and also by a new face. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. So my name is Jaakko. People call me Jaska, and my nick is in status Korpmake, and yeah, haven't been really playing much in international plays, but I play Maze Arcs and Greyjoys, and a little bit Nightwatch as well.
Bit of Nightwatch. Who doesn't play just a little bit of Nightwatch, right?
Back in the days.
Yeah.
I really like the faction though.
That's what he says. Really likes the faction. Really likes the faction.
Yeah.
Alright then. So these guys are obviously both from Finland, and we're going to talk about Finnish Nationals today. I was going to say it's not the only thing we're going to talk about, but if you tune in regularly, and if you follow Simon regularly, you'll know that there hasn't really been anything since the Kickstarter and everything that Simon have done. It's all been pretty slow. Stuff that we know has been coming through the pipeline has been kind of mentioning getting released and things like that. So I don't want to be the harbinger of bad news or anything like that. That's not at all what I mean. But it's just pretty slow, right? There's not a huge amount outside of the Kickstarter. There's not a huge amount of stuff happening from the business end, and really it's what is the community just keep on plugging away. In terms of like looking forward to, Teemu, what is your thing that you're looking forward to the most, probably coming up in the near future, a year down the line?
Yeah, I actually just chatted with Johannes Forspont today that now as we still have a quite recent new patch and things are feeling fresh, so we should be starting one of our map-based campaigns we've talked previously, and that is now getting started. In terms of new releases, I think I'm really looking forward to the next mini faction, and I do hope it's the Brotherhood without banners, because there are such iconic characters that should have been in the game a long time ago, and let's see. Of course, Bolton's arriving as the first mini faction really flopped. You could have had the neutrals first. So let's see if they've learned something about that. And will it be different for the Brotherhood without banners, or maybe it's the whale coming. But that's the most interesting thing. Of course, Heroes box is always most welcome. What I was quite surprised about the Neutral Heroes 3 is that it didn't have a Golden Company office commander, which is one thing that would be cool to see. But mainly Brotherhood without banners.
Cool.
That would tick my box.
What about you, Jaakko? Same boat?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm also quite, as a star player, quite interested of the new unit.
Yeah.
Of course, it looks very interesting.
What are your thoughts?
Of course, a little bit
on that. Do you think it looks good?
I think they're a good unit. Yeah, and there's like a couple things where you could try out. What kind of attachment would you like to attach it? I will definitely try and order at least one of them when they are able.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I think that the other new units were a little bit like not that interesting, but maybe there's something. I'm hopeful.
I'm hopeful that the Winterfell Guards will be good, and if not powerful, good fun to try things with. I think it's similar kind of feel that you're saying there. is that I think it opens up some opportunity to try, even if it ends up not being good. Just the trying of stuff, incentivized. Yeah, I like it. I quite like that.
Adaptive is such a good rule in the game because it really gives you the permission to try out different attachments. Because otherwise, it's a 7-point unit. If you would take a 1-point attachment, should I take Tuli Cavaliers instead? Yes, I should. So you would never take an attachment. So this is really nice, and I'm also now planning to go back to Starks. I've been playing a lot of Martels, of course, practicing for the Finnish Nationals. And what I really like about Stark is the huge number of combinations you can build out of them, as they are such a mature faction. So looking forward to playing with Starks as well.
I think so too. It's like couple months ago I thought that only the horses were only the good thing. Cavalry is only the good thing in there. But now there has been lots of good lists with the 5 activation, Grey John, and everything they look really interesting. I even said that the Spearman would be quite bad unit cards like Spearman after the patch, but no, I don't think so anymore. I think they look quite fine, I have to say.
Yeah. Yeah. You just wanted to borrow them, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. No further spoilers for next weekend.
Yeah.
Oh well. All right then. You'll be glad
and
to know.
I do expect you guys, either you, Jaakko, or Johannes, to bring home the Netherlands Championships or whatever it's called, the Lowlands.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have this tradition already for stealing other countries' trophies.
Right. Yeah, it's quite common. I mean, this is for those of you who don't know, spoilers, because you just saw the final results anyway. There is quite an ongoing thing people are aware of, that people tend not to win their own championships, especially if there's a big traveling contingent. This time we saw the Swedes invading Finland, but they failed, unfortunately. Finland was able to defend its shores. Which is impressive because that doesn't normally happen. So obviously congratulations to G-Lot, Seppo, for winning the overall tournament. He was asked if he was going to come on, but he didn't want to.
Yeah, sure he was. Yeah.
So he's embarrassed talking, I think, in front of all of these great people.
They have a small baby at home, so maybe that's a priority.
It is, definitely. All right then. So we'll dive in. We'll dive into the tournament itself. Now, for those of you who don't know, Teemu has organised this tournament in the past. This time round was just attending, just playing in it, just chilling out. But you organised it. You organised. I understand, as the way Teemu put this. Jaakko, you organised the whole thing, right?
I'm like a second in command, I would say. Antti, who is in the nickname of Rivama in the tournament, he's the main organizer, and we just help him out. But I've been last year helping Teemu. I've been the co-guy, even though I said last year that I will never ever do this again, and still I'm here.
It was so bad with me. Is that what you're saying?
No, it's not. It's not that.
So
yeah, I think we have a bunch of people in our club that are really active in organizing tournaments. Me and Jaakko and Antti are definitely those guys. And as Antti won the last year's Finnish Nationals, so he took on the mantle of organizing things, and it was a great event, and we had a really good time, and great to have the Swedes over again.
Yeah, totally.
So, in terms of the event, I mean, in case people weren't aware, it was a very straightforward event. The first thing I actually was gonna kind of tackle with you is that the big thing here is that you obviously recognise that you're not going to need 7, 8, 9 rounds. Of course, no one has that many normally. So you opt for 5, which is absolutely fine for the size of the event that it is. But then you're incredibly generous with a whole 2.5 hours on the game rounds. So you can do 3 comfortable games on the Saturday, 2 on the Sunday. 2.5-hour rounds for national events, for big events, as far as they go, is a long time. It's a lot longer
Yeah, it
than
was
most
quite
people deal with.
relaxed.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
going to say, is that quite a relaxed feeling? And does that, from an organisational perspective, means that games were definitely ending, you found, as well?
Sure.
Yes, and we were actually talking about that. Maybe it was a little bit too much. I mean, but the good side is that people had good time to grab some beers, talk with each other. I think everybody were enjoying themselves and talking to people, and I think it's really, I think it's better that way, that it doesn't have like rush. Now you have to play and now start a new game and just grab good coffee and then go on.
I think.
Yeah, and then besides Song, there were like 6 or 7 other games.
Okay.
It's a big event with hundreds of players, so it was cool to go and check out what's happening on the other games. And there was a big flea market. There was a one vendor, and so forth. So there was other things to see as well. And like Jaakko said, there was the local brewery had a tap in the event, so you had to queue for the beer as well. So that takes some time.
Yeah.
That's actually, I mean, it's crazy, really, when you consider what you're talking about here. 5 games over 2 days, nice and chilled, grabbing a beer between games. You've got this spare time. To some extent, maybe a bit too much spare time, but that's fine. That's never a bad thing. And then you've got something like Adepticon, which is running pretty soon, which has got like 5 games in one day, like hour and a half kind of time zones.
Oh, that's rough.
Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Completely different kind of take on the atmosphere. One guy, you got you guys over there being like, "Hey, let's have a drink and play some games." And these guys in Adepticon are like, "Ah!" Oh yeah, it's no, it's cool. I love it. I have to admit, I liked the look of it last year. Obviously, couldn't make it this year, but it is a nationals event that I would love to attend because it does look quite chilled and relaxed.
I have interesting news for you, Mickey. We were obviously discussing with the Swedes, and this has been an idea for a while, that maybe next year we should aim for a Nordic nationals.
Okay.
Now we've been going over to Sweden, they've been coming over to Finland, but we should definitely get a sort of a team together to start planning, bringing in the Danes, bringing in the Norwegians, and the Swedes, they're going to get something like maybe 40 players, I hope. We've had this 20, 25, 30 range. But the Nordic tournament could make it 100 players, and that would be really cool.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, so that's the plan. Of course, I think if we can make a Nordic tournament and, open 100 spots, that would immediately bring in a flux of foreign players as well, I would expect, as happened in Poland, as is now happening in the lowlands. So the big tournaments, they are really like magnets for players, and that's the vision. That's the vision we want to make real.
And let's face it, I'm sure Jaakko will organise it all for us, so it's all good, right?
Well, we're gonna have a team.
Yeah.
You need to promote.
The Swedes were really interested of being with us, organizing it. So,
I hope they still remember this idea, because we've had a few drinks when we were discussing it in a local restaurant on Saturday evening, which was great fun.
Yeah, awesome guys, I have to say.
And of course, we needed to make them drink a lot of vodka so they wouldn't win on Sunday. So that was our plan all along.
That was the ploy. All right then. What's actually very interesting is the other thing I want to talk about from a organizational perspective, and I know that this has been discussed a lot by different people. The choice of game modes. You went for Game of Thrones, absolute classic. Winds of Winter, Honed and Ready, Dance with Dragons, all considered absolutely fine. Here We Stand, which some people like, some people don't like. Feast for Crows, people generally like. But keeping Clash of Kings as well. So you've dumped out Fire and Blood and
Banners and Butchers.
Thank you, Banners and Butchery.
And the other special
Dark
mission
Wings, Dark
game mode.
Words.
Yeah.
Now, Dark Wings and Dark Words of Fire and Blood obviously dropped as official game modes. But dropping Banners in favour of Clash, is this just because Clash is a better game mode?
I think it's quite good. I actually would say that we were talking with Gaelot, with Seppo, after our final, that this in our opinion, the Feast for Crows is quite bad. In those scenarios as it is. I mean, I would even argue that the Dark Wings, Dark World is much more interesting than the.
It does.
I don't know what you guys think. I mean, personally,
I know that Feast for Crows can tend towards these very difficult games and game positions, where, especially towards top end of tournaments and things like this, people end up just taking one side of the board each, and trying not to do much with that.
yeah.
And I can't comment on what you guys did in this game, but I'm going to look at this result, which I know was a draw. It's a points on table draw because of the Balon bringback. But I'm guessing you played 5 rounds and scored 1 VP each round. You then sacrificed a unit trying to get a kill, and he killed you, getting a VP, and you brought the unit back on and scored the corpse pile that it made, generating a 6/6 points on table draw.
Yeah, and think about it. Even Seppo was thinking, like, should I kill it or not, the unit?
Exactly.
Because he was thinking that this can go sideways. I mean, so that's why we're talking. This is so silly. This idea. I was also trying to kill at one point, trying to kill the Davos and the Lightbringers, and then I realized also, if I succeed, I'm gonna lose this game basically.
Exactly. I think my game for Feast was quite on the opposite end of the line. We killed a lot. I charged first round my Flayedman after playing the Cunning Ploy, almost one-shotted the unit because they had already failed the panic test critically. I killed them the round 2, but we were so bloodthirsty with my opponent, Pasi, that twice in a game we forgot to place a new corpse pile, which seems to be very common when we play. We're so focused on just smashing each other, or of course I had a unit on the other corpse pile as well, but twice we forget, and that's typically what happens. So
it wouldn't be the first time I've heard someone say in a tournament game as well they forgot to put corpse piles down. I can remember this is at LGT a few years back. I was watching someone's game after finishing mine, and exactly that happened. I was looking at the board being like, there are 2 corpse piles on the board, and half of his army's missing. So he
something is definitely missing
something's
here.
Wrong. But yeah, that
it could have been exactly the same, because my opponent had 2 crossbows. He was playing Lannister. He had 2 crossbows, and then in between them was halberdiers that I charged with my Flayedman, and I killed the halberdiers, and obviously taking quite a few shots from those crossbows. So I had to retreat with my Flayedman. So if he would have had that second or third corpse pile, two crossbows, he could have been just there and create this killing zone, and I think he would have won it. In the end, it was quite clearly a win for me, but and I also forget to place a corpse pile, which I would have then claimed quite easily. But so I guess it went sort of even.
But I would have that kind of game anytime, instead of our me and Seppo's game that we just everybody's just looking, firing a few shots, and then nothing really happening. Maybe
actually scoring a draw in the kind of final table is actually quite boring.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the game, but it sounds maybe a bit boring.
It wasn't actually. There was quite strange moments, even though I haven't also quite moves, but I haven't never ever made, like in last 20 games. Like I have willingly go to the corpse, to the stakes with ranged unit. It's like
Were you trying to get them killed to get the corpse spoil or what?
that actually was one of start of the game was one of my plans. Not with the range unit though, but with the trappers.
Mhm.
But the Seppo I misdeployed basically. I didn't. It wasn't my best game for sure.
Mhm.
Seppo played much better. He earned the win in the
sure,
tournament
yeah.
for sure.
But he didn't get a win. He
Yeah,
got a draw.
yeah, that's-
And that's all
Winning the
that matters.
tournament with the draw, that's something.
Yeah, the Swedes were saying like, this is strange. You have like a final game and it's draw.
Yeah.
There's something fishy on here.
Yeah, like an agreed game. Yeah.
Look, whoops! I deployed my entire army backwards, and so did my opponent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, the other thing I wanted to mention, obviously, banners and butchery not included. Just not liked, not a fan. I know that we bang it a lot on the show, but like, it's another tournament that hasn't included it when it's supposed to be released. Go on.
I played it twice. They were pretty interesting games. In the second one, I think we accidentally used impossible terrain, which should not be used. So it was not really something you could qualify as a proper game. But I think I want to try it a couple of times more
Mhm.
to make my final comments.
I should also. I have played only once. I think it's for like a relaxed game, not like a. It's quite okay, but not perhaps not for the tournament game.
That's fair enough.
At least it's different and it's quite. Of course, like Mickey, you've said many times that games end up being sort of wipeout games with 0-0 VP, which is kind of silly. But then again, nowadays, at least, and also in our tournament, quite a few of the games end as wipeouts anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not such an unusual way to win a game. Not at all.
No, it's just weird that it's assigned to a 0-0.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that one change where they just made units worth points for killing them, I think would actually just solve some of the problems of the weird scoring in it.
Yeah.
So
maybe an extra point if it's killed by the commander, just like Clash.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
All right then. So the event itself, we'd obviously talk about every single round, every single game if we could, but we can't. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about your rounds that you played, and this both of you here. You both played 5 rounds, so of the 10 games between you, I want you to think about your favourite game you played and any specific moments you can think of that were fun, interesting, cool, or anything. Now, I do actually have a special photo that I know you shared with us, Teemu, before, and I have it as part of your overall thing here. And it is this photo here, where the reason I bring this one up, it's you two playing against each other.
Absolutely.
But there is a random third person here.
Yes.
The random third person is someone who just came over because the event was open, so anyone could come in and check out what's going on. And there were people coming in with their kids and just to learn about the hobby. And this guy, he's someone who is just now joining our club. They have just ordered their starter set. There were 3 guys actually who want to start playing Song, and I think we gave them a good show.
Nice.
For sure.
Yeah. I think he was also there in our table because he was interested of starting Greyjoys. So
you thought you
he was. Yeah. No, not like.
So that's why I obviously let Jaakko win, so he could think the new guy could think that Greyjoys are actually good.
Yeah, this is funny that we play each other quite a lot. I have to say, and I said like I win like 80% of the time, and I usually when the game like decides is that Teemu starts to play really wise and careful. Then he sees like something like opening, and then he like fixates only on that thing, and then he forgets everything else. He tries it, and it's either trap or a bad idea. So either of those.
Or both.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I'm not the most patient player, but in this particular game, we've had quite a few games with Jaakko. Me playing Martel and you playing Asha Greyjoy, Moisturos Charisma, and it's been rather frustrating. Like, I have these awesome cards in my hand, and I have these orders, can't fucking use any of them. And I had lost not just you, but some other Greyjoy players against Asha. And just a couple of days before the tournament, I won. And that sort of a help with my confidence. And I think this game, it ended like a 10-7 or something like that.
Yeah.
For you. And I think it was my best performance so far against you, with these lists that actually we probably had faced one another with the more or less same lists before. So even if I lost the game, I felt good because it was a clear improvement in my performance.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, and you played well. I mean, you started the game. We had this deployment that Teemu deployed his sand skirmishers to the right, right
to your right, yeah.
Yeah, and onto the deployment line, so far away as you can deploy, so quite close to me. And I still haven't placed my Golden Company crossbows with Braun, and I just put them face to face. And then it almost looked the same way. You started. I was baiting you to go. You didn't take it, even though it looked so.
My plan was to maybe draw your crossbows there, and with all the Martel movement shenanigans, I could get those guys out of there. Because the previous game we played, your crossbows killed my skirmishers. So, and there was an opening. If you would not have placed those crossbows, which obviously did, I could have sort of flanked with my skirmishers, but
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So apart from this lovely moment, where you get to match up against each other in round 3, have you got any other moments from the event, in terms of games you played, opponents you played against, that really stand out in your memory as like, you know what, there was a really cool moment there, or this guy I don't normally play against was really awesome? Anything you want to mention?
Jaakko, you want to go first?
Well, I was first thought of bringing the game where I play against Vappe, because I mean I know that Vappe is a good player. I lost him last time we played, but this game he just had such bad luck, and he made a quite risky move and it didn't pay off, and the game already ended basically very early. So. The most exciting game was when I was facing Freebalk. Yeah, this game. Look at the Vappe's face. That tells everything.
He looks very happy.
How the game is. Yeah.
He looks so frustrated already. It looks like round 1.
Yeah, even though he hasn't lost the unit yet, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
and everything just went my way after that. He said like one of the last thing he said, like. Everything what you have done, everything has succeeded because you just get one thing right, like one pillage is enough to get the one morale down, and you lose the morale, you fail the panic because of that, and everything like that all the time. And the unit just died because I had 2 pillage on my reavers and they did an extra wound on the unit or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the most like interesting game, at least for me, was I was playing the Freebalk at the first round, and the player is quite new player, I have to say, and he made some mistakes in that game, but I surely did some mistakes as well, but in the game, and it's like so stupid things like I lost Asha, but I was quite okay losing the Asha in the middle. Then I brought it back into one of the ranks, and I was like, I have checked out everything that he couldn't charge block me, but I didn't do it very well, have to say. And then he just charge blocked me, and I was like, okay, this was so bad move.
you do all of this meticulous movement and you go, haha, I've got it, and then you do it, and then he looks at you and goes, I'll just do this, and you go, oh bugger.
Yeah, but he was, I mean, I like really well done for him. I mean, he hasn't played this game for long, and he really knew how to do it.
He's playing a fairly good list though, so you know, credit where credit's due. It's good
I think all the free folk list looks like that in our tournament.
Yep.
Yeah.
They do everywhere.
Yeah, he has some very, have to say, very quite strange decisions. We talk about this after the game. Like he brought the weight dwellers very, very aggressively, and they were facing not the palisade, but it's the stakes. He was facing the stakes, and he deployed on the like straight on the same way as the stakes, and I had my crossbow on the other side. And then he went too far. I shoot him like lots of times. He's almost dead. And then he's like, my solution is to charge to the stakes.
Yalla.
Yeah, and it of course did end very badly.
How surprising!
Just go.
Yeah.
Guys, just go. It will be fine.
And I would kind of like he had high chance of surviving. He actually survived the stakes hits, the damage, but still he needed the 6 to reach my crossbows as well.
Oh,
and I had everything ready for it, even though it would have succeeded. It wasn't that bad. I mean,
if you'd have got that 6 though, right?
Yeah,
would have been absolute god tier level play. So
yeah.
You know.
Well, they hit like a truck with the. I think it's a very good combination. The alpha with the battle scars. It seems like a very aggressive unit.
A lot of people have been running it.
Sure is.
Yeah.
I have heard. Let me see. At least Larks does it right in his free walk list quite often.
Yeah. At
least the cave dwellers.
I'll give it a try.
What is actually the ranking for free folk now? I think they've been rising. Recently.
They fluctuate. So they're in second place at the moment, 17 points.
Right.
I mean, they were a little bit higher than I think Starks in number 1 at the moment. Technically, yeah, Starks are number 1 technically at the moment. But you can see here they were up to about 24. They fluctuate between kind of like 25, 26 rating down to about a plus 15 is I think the lowest we've seen them recently. Yeah. So that's kind of where they settle in there. And that can differ between like first through to like third or even fourth sometimes, just because there's quite a lot of closeness at the top. In terms of ELO, for those who actually care and don't follow it that closely, but on a kind of like overview, Starks, Free Folk, Baratheon, and Greyjoy are the ones that cycle as the top 4. Baratheons very rarely make it to number 1. But Greyjoy, Starks, and Free Folk all have been number 1 for at least a period of time since the patch. Baratheons typically float. They're almost like, if you consider as top tier in terms of ranking, Stark, Greyjoy, and Free Folk, Baratheon lurk typically at like 1.2. So they're just a bit worse on average, but not badly. This is, of course, overall power rating. If we actually look at commanders, this is where Faction Yellow is not the full story. Commanders, Styr and Varamir are leading the pack.
Right.
They are out there in front. To probably nobody's surprise, Great John Umber is doing very well for Starks. And then we see Baelor Blacktide as the best Greyjoy performer, which...
But he's very strange.
Yeah, that is a bit strange. You'll notice no good Greyjoy players playing Baelor.
I don't agree. I faced in the Polish Nationals. What was his name? Ramon or something? The guy who won the whole thing, and he was playing Baelor Blacktide.
But that was before.
Those guys just could not be killed.
But that was before the Golden Company swordsman was nerfed.
That too.
I think nowadays he has problems that he doesn't know. There's not a really good unit for the.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
He had he had him in quarter company swords.
Yeah. I think
Poland.
there's lots of good choices still to put him, but it doesn't feel like that great. And even though the other commander seems really good, like I just love Victarion. Is unbelievable good commander.
He is.
Like, also fits my playstyle, like really aggressive. Like,
And I think Vic list and then an Asha list is a pretty damn good combo.
Yeah.
In a two list format.
Mm-hmm.
well, yeah, it did feel like when I played Seppo, the Baratheon list seems really good, and I don't think Asa is the right guy for the right.
Well,
girl
obviously he had designed it quite a bit for that.
Yeah. Yeah, he said that he had like prepared for my great choice.
Yes.
I mean, one
As
of the
he should.
things that's great to see, I would say, is obviously Baratheons win the tournament. But again, you actually look at the breakdown of factions, you've got a few Martells up there. Because you're playing more rounds than you need as well. I'm a big fan of tournaments that play more rounds than they need to get a winner. Because like we saw here, yes, you end up in a weird position where he wins with a draw. But that's actually a really good thing. Like you were in contention in the last round to win the event, right? And you actually lost your first game. And you could have won the event if you'd have won the last game. And I think that's really positive. Because there's always something to play for. Always. Even if you've got 2 losses, you can still win Biston faction, and it's not that unreasonable.
Yeah. And I was even thinking that when I lost the first game, I was like thinking myself, okay, I most likely will not be able to win this, but fuck it, I'm just having fun. I love this game. I love playing it. I play as best as I could, and have fun. Let's see how it goes. Me.
It went quite well.
Yep.
Nearly.
I think the most dramatic or cinematic moment in my games was the first game on Saturday. I faced the only Stark list in a tournament, full cavalry list, 3 times Ravagers and one Tully Cavaliers. And the other list, it didn't have the grey. It didn't have the grey wind, and that is a quite scary list. I did have my knights as well, so I was playing Jokin. And what was the scenario of the game mode round 4? It was Clash, or I think it was Clash. Yeah, it was Clash.
Yes.
Yeah. But his army is obviously very, very fast and strikes very, very hard. And the morning started way that where is my opponent? He's not showing up. He's my very, very old good friend, and I sort of message him, and he managed to arrive very, very fast. But I was like, already, what the heck? I want to play, and I certainly don't want to have any Bue here. And he came it, and we started the game. I was quite terrified, but after, he fed me like a first unit. It sort of came alone, and I was able to kill it, and what his commander's unit. And after that, I was feeling quite confident. But then he played really aggressively, and it was really hanging in the balance. And I had my skirmishers with 1 wound facing one of his Ravager units, and then it was my turn to start the round, I think, and I was in a position with Jokin, shoot 9 dice at the back of his Ravagers, and they had something like six wounds left, and I failed to kill them. and that was quite a moment, and it was quite actually shocking. And of course the skirmishers then died, but then I was still able to win the game. It was a really narrow game, and that started my second day quite well. I won both of my games the second day, and made my goal of being in the top 1/3. So I was exactly the 8th in the tournament. So, but that was quite a moment, because I've been practicing a lot with Jokin, and shooting them in the back with 9 rerollable shots and they didn't bloody die. That was like, what the hell? But yeah, I managed to pull the win, and we were both really happy with the game. It was a really good game too.
And I think that's the you know the kind of real major takeaway, isn't it? Is that people enjoying games. You were taking a lot of photos, as you do, Teemu. One of the people who we don't talk about it enough, but people who take photos at events are actually really great people, because not enough people do it, and it is the way to best capture it, you know. And you don't have to go that far through the various different photos you've taken, and there are tons of people enjoying games. I'll throw some up here. This is the final.
That's the final game, yeah.
And you can see there that there's...
They look happy.
They do. They do. They look like they're enjoying themselves. They look happy, right?
Sure.
There's more people looking distraught, or people just playing games, and you know what I mean? And it's very obvious. You look at these people playing, and they're talking, they're communicating, they're playing the games presented to them, and they're all enjoying themselves.
Sure.
And then, you know, there's beers afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's great.
The after games.
It's great to see people generally just having fun.
Yeah.
So there's a positive.
This is Finland and Sweden celebrating that we're all in NATO now. So.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Never alone again.
Never alone again. Yeah. All right then. There was obviously winners and or losers.
No, we were all winners because we were enjoying it.
That is the thing, right? But the important thing is that this man here gets to take away the top spot.
Yeah.
Can I just point out something? Right.
Please. Yeah.
His facial expression here is identical to the facial expression he is pulling while playing the game against you. Right?
He's such a poker face.
Nothing has happened.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
just won the event. You look really happy there. He's just like, yeah, I'm happy. And he looks exactly the same level of happy there. And this is after he's won. So maybe he already knew.
Well, I think he did. I mean, it was like I think I didn't play well in the last game, and it was already starting to look like a draw, and then we talked about it that draw would be actually cover him the victory. Mm-hmm. At some point after the game, we were actually thinking that because we have this kind of like painting points, and that it actually wouldn't let him win, and then he was a little bit sour, I can sense his voice, but then it worked out anyhow. We were miscalculating everything.
Yeah, it was really tight. If you had a fully painted army, you would get a 1 tournament point extra, and if you had partially painted army, you would get 0.5. But he won almost all the games, and so he was able to pull it with the knot. I think he didn't get us anything from his painting because it was mostly unpainted.
Yes. But this thing like it seems like a very silly idea that we have that kind of rule. But even though the Swedes, they like last time they didn't like not many of them had like painted army, and this time they came and almost everybody have all painted armies, and they even said that they were like thinking about it like that they want to have the 1 point and they made effort, to do it.
Yeah.
And that's actually one of the coolest things of our community as well, that we have lots of people have lots of painted armies. Also, what we didn't see when we were in Sweden, I mean, I think there were quite a lot of unpainted armies as well there.
Sure. Much more than what we have.
I was going to say.
And actually, in this Winter War event, there are tournaments. Like I said, there are tournaments for different games, and actually, quite a few of those tournaments don't allow any unpainted armies or models. So we are more flexible with that because we have many people coming over to miniature wargaming from other games. For example, Seppo and Antti both come from the card game, Game of Thrones card game.
We've talked about it before, obviously, that I'm a big fan of like unpainted. I'm not a fan of unpainted armies, but I'm a fan of not having a painting requirement. I think there's a tendency a little bit with like the likes of Games Workshop, which is very common, where people want to attend an event but they can't because they haven't got 3D painted, and then what they end up doing is they go down the route of learning to paint, do some painting, but they only ever do it with the intention of taking things to events. They're not actually doing it for the hobby side, they're doing it for a reason. So you end up with these stupid things where people are like, you need 3 colours on a model. So I painted black and then put 3 colours on a shoulder pad. Done.
Yeah, I hate it as well.
Yeah, and then I'm just like, that's not what we want. Yes, you can attend the event like that, but that's not actually what people wanted.
No.
And this is a better way of doing it, Incentivize the painting, but don't make it a requirement. Don't make it
I think one thing that keeps some of the people, even in our club, and I asked them, why don't you give it a try? It's the best game I ever played. They say that not having 3D terrain puts them off. The battle board doesn't look very visually nice. So that's why I think it's quite important that we have the painted armies, because then it actually looks nice.
Yeah. And all people always say that this is board game. I'm like, no.
No, it's not. Yeah.
It's
maybe it looks like that to a person who doesn't know really what's going on, but I think it's in our club it's one of the sort of biggest growth games we've had. So we've had a lot of people coming in and joining the club in order to play Song. So
that's really good. On the point of 3D terrain, it's one of those awkward things, isn't it, where I think anyone who hasn't played the game much goes, yeah, you need 3D terrain. It's like the one thing, you need 3D terrain. Then when you play the game like a significant amount, you're like, 3D terrain's like, it's nice and all, but like, it's just a pain. It just gets in the way. It's just annoying. Yeah. And especially the pre-made, the ones that came in the old Kickstarter.
Yeah,
those are actually quite nice. But they're so impractical when you've got them on the board.
And they're wrong size.
Yeah, wrong size.
The weirdest thing is that they are a wrong size. Yeah. So you need to take them away even to measure, are you within 6 inches of a weirwood tree or a corpse pile? And that is really weird that that they are the wrong size. I have them all painted. Whenever I run a demo of the game, I always use it because I know some people are put off with just the 2D terrain. But then again, now we see more 2D terrain coming into the games because of its other games. I mean, because of its practicality. We have a lot of people playing War Machine Hordes, even Middle Earth. And so forth. So I've seen other games now also using 2D terrain. It's not a direction that pleases me, but it's rather convenient, and especially for like traveling or something like that. Very, very convenient indeed.
Yeah. On the note then of hobby, obviously we don't just have games being played, but we obviously have things being painted. And this man right here, who, by the way, looks he looks unbelievably scary. I wouldn't want to be caught in the back alley with him. But this man here walks away with best painted, I believe.
Yeah, and he's Bolton. That's why he looks like Bolton players. That's why
he's like living the Bolton team.
His army, and there's a range of different stuff here. His army is really quite nice. It's a whole range of different stuff, and there is a short video that hopefully will work in a second. But he's got everything. Now, one of the things I will mention, right, which I was impressed by, any eagle-eyed viewers, and you guys obviously on stream can highlight this. He has neutrals painted up in a semi-Bolton theme, including the Glory Seeker, Fortune Seeker. Can't remember which one it is, but the Hedge Knight model as well.
Yeah,
right.
That's right.
The whole army is quite thematically painted.
Did he paint this up recently, or has he just always had this model painted up in Boltons? and then he found out they could use neutrals, and he was like, "Yes, winning." Do you know? Did you ask him?
I think he has been playing like Bolton-based army like for a long time, right? So
Always.
Yeah. Even before the Boltons came out, so that's why he probably has. He's a Bolton fan, you can say, probably.
It's obviously some of these stuff you can tell time and effort and love has gone into it, and yeah, absolutely brilliant. I love this. I when I saw this one particularly, this is when I actually first twigged he's got a full-on painted Bolton Fortune Seeker, Glory Seeker, whichever one it is. But the Sandor, the burnt face Sandor model is lovely. He's done such a good job with that. And the reason I mention this, apart from the Big Child Creative, this is the first time I've seen the new Sandor model done what I would consider justice. Like really well painted. So kudos to him for that, because he's whipped that out of nowhere.
Absolutely. And he won the same prize a year ago as well. Obviously now he had the new Bolton models and he didn't have these Hedge Knights a year ago, so obviously there were quite a few new models, and so it was maybe easier to vote him again, because if it would have been just the same army that won last year, then well, don't tell him I didn't vote him this time, but he won anyway.
Yeah. But also too bad that I don't think the painting competition wasn't even that tight. Like the other armies weren't that well painted as he is. There's couple guys, at least one Barathon player. Yeah, I mean you, Ilkka, you, if you're listening, and that he has very nice Barathon friendly side army, and I think he would be quite good contender but he wouldn't able to make it.
Yeah, I actually said to Esa, whose Bolton army this is, that now you're gonna have a competition from our club, this Ilkka with his friendly loyalist, and then I realized that Ilkka is not coming. But and there was a very nice Nightwatch army. Not maybe anything flashy, but very, very nice thematic. The army as a whole looked really, really nice.
Yes.
That was from Oskari. So good for you, Oskari.
Yep. Well done.
Oh, hang on, is it this one? This might be the. You'll have to tell me if this was his or not.
Most likely, there's only two Nightwatch.
Is it this one here?
Yeah, the guy with the beard.
Hello. But this army here, apparently. Actually, you can tell that does look quite nice. Even obviously the picture quality starts to lose a bit of quality at this angle. Yeah. But even that you can actually tell is quite nice, and especially the cold hands there. Lovely model, of course, but yeah. No, it's cool.
Yeah. He has a pretty amazing Instagram account. A lot of 40k stuff as well. I'll have to dig it up for you guys.
Yeah. Feel free to drop it in the chat comments.
He's a really good painter, and this is a more thematic army. Obviously.
Yeah.
Mainly black, but the other stuff he does is pretty amazing.
Yeah. They did like a small mistakes in on the here we stand game mode. It was so funny. We laughed about it at the end of the day. Sorry guys, I'm not making fun of you. It was just funny to hear it. That they played Oskari and I think other Nightwatch player or somebody they were playing. Here we stand and they play with the old rules that they respawn units.
Yeah.
And Teemu said it like, hey, that was like 3 years ago when it changed. But they had fun and same rules, so we were like, okay, fuck it. Let's keep the result. I mean,
we used the wrong rules from like 3 years ago, and oh well.
The thing in Finland is that we play very, very actively in our club, and like every week, several evenings. And then there are other cities in Finland where we have people coming to this Winter War Finnish Nationals, but they play significantly less, maybe once a month or something like that. So obviously that is showing in the level So you can see all the players that the club affiliation says Nopat or something like that. That's our club, and I don't think was there any players in the top 10 that would not have been from our club, besides the Swedes.
The Swedes, yeah, no.
No, they're all from our club.
You have guys traveling from Loja, I'm guessing.
Lohja, yes.
Lohja.
Okay. Yeah.
And some obviously ones that are no affiliated as well, which I'm guessing are just one-off players or a couple of people from local areas.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean
right.
it's good to see, and obviously the painting is obviously really strong. No, I won't make people at home listen to that without being able to see it. But the video of the painted army, I will try and get posted up on our Facebook group and put in Discord as well. If anyone wants to watch it, you can actually see the full painted army on nice display. Yeah, it is really, really nice army. And it's more what's good is that you mentioned about the painting requirement, or not requirement, but the painting discussion, and how that will hopefully in time breed more people to bring armies that are really strong and painted strong, and that's a positive. That's a positive. It shows the hobby off in a good light, and the game. Yeah, awesome.
Also, kudos for Esa besides painting, because he's the guy now building the community for song in Turku region, which is I think is the third biggest city or one of the biggest cities in Finland in the west coast, and there's been not so many players from Turku region, but now Esa is working to build it up, and he was now the only player coming from there, and he's been around every year. But I see the community in Finland growing, and there's quite a few players in the Tampere region as well, and I think we could reach, without any foreigners, like 40 players in a couple of years. But I guess this Nordic champion would still be the more cooler thing to do. Maybe obviously we have to do both, because not all Finns are willing to travel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No, yeah, that's really cool. All right then. So, I think apart from that, there is one last photo I wanted to show. This photo here. For those of you who don't know,
Top five.
Top five. WAP on the far left, followed by G-Lot. I will forgive his name because I've forgotten. I was looking this up earlier. That is
in the middle.
That's Antti, yeah?
Antti, yeah, he was the main TO.
And then we've got Johannes, Forest Pond, for those who don't know. Forest Pond, and finally. So there we go.
Yeah.
So,
should we talk about the marathons, the top list?
Go on.
I mean, bring out the list. I mean, I think it's really good list, and I'm strange that I haven't seen it like any. I'm watching all the biggest tournaments. I think the lists. Of course, I'm not looking at the marathon list so much, but I think it's quite strong, and I think it should do well, very well, I have to say.
Yeah, the token manipulation both ways is extremely strong in that one. Including the Dragonstone Noble. So as Seppo couldn't join in today, I asked him in our WhatsApp chat today that, Seppo, could you please introduce to the Finnish community your lists and the thinking behind them? And yeah, I think it has a lot of tools.
Yeah.
Obviously, Kingsmen being very strong, and with Stanis bringing in the tactical approach, they can kill anything.
Yeah, and the amount of control, like you said, is like unbelievable. Lots of drawing lots of cards with the.
And that NCU trio is also very good. And one thing that strikes me about Seppo's list, that there's 1 point of neutrals, just 1 point.
Yep.
And this is something you didn't see like ever before. Everybody obviously was playing the Golden Company guys or Peter Baelish, Varus, but that is telling something about the faction that you can build a totally smashing list with 1 point of neutrals.
I think that's actually something that we won't discuss in detail, but I think is probably worth pointing out. One of the things that, you know, is really very obvious is that Varus is the only neutral piece that's doing very well, and Stormcrow Mercs are kind of doing okay. And if we take away Varus for a second and go, he got nerfed, but like he's still the most. He's literally the highest performing NCU. But like, he's not like miles ahead of everyone. You know, he's not outperforming the field. He is performing better. He is outperforming in that sense. But it's not like he's just a guaranteed you pick this and do well, right? And that's a positive because he was in a position where that was the case. You know, And then for units, as you see you've got Tully Cavaliers. Obviously, Free Fake don't really count. But United Circassi Rock and your Stormcrow Mercs as a 5-point unit are actually the best, if you will, 5-point unit in the game by rating. But actually, like,
that's interesting.
It is, but they're not significantly higher than anything else. You know, and I bet you any money you like, you look through them, they're not doing that well in every single faction. They're hilariously in Stark's doing very well.
Well, yeah.
Wow.
What a big surprise.
Yeah.
That kind of shows that small tweaks, you know, just 1 point better moral value made them that good.
Yeah.
Because obviously, I guess they weren't that high before.
No.
And I don't think I see any good list with the Stormcrow merch in it. Maybe the via Starks with the Grey John or something. I don't know.
Kind of mass, maybe like a 9 activation Stark or something like that might have them in. And I like those lists, but yeah, like they're not super common. But what really is the standout is that, you know, nothing's breaking away. The only real breakaway we see is Tully Cavaliers. I don't really include Raiders and Trappers in this breakaway because I think everyone knew that they were going to be a problem. When we saw the patch changes, everyone went, well, they were already pretty good, and you just made both of these things probably better.
Yeah.
But Tully Cavaliers are breaking away from everything else as a standout unit in terms of performance. And that's not
in my game, if I may comment, Tully Cavaliers. Another round once again with the Starks game. I charged my knight to the rear of his Tully Cavaliers. I scored 9 hits, gave him panicked and weakened. And after that attack, obviously after using a token from Eddard Stark and he had the attachment there, they had taken 2 wounds from a lance charge to the rear.
Okay, that
was like, okay.
That sounds like a skill issue. I think that's what that is. You're clearly not good enough, Teemu. Everyone else would have just done 12 wins and killed it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I even rolled the 1 to the bloody charge. I still scored 9 hits.
Yeah, just roll better. Just you should have got 10 hits. You'd have killed them. If you'd have got 10 hits, you'd have killed them.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, no, obviously the kind of Tully Cavalier with Eddard 6-pointer backing them up, Warden of the North. People discuss it a lot, people run it a lot, people kind of just jam lists with it, you know. And there is a discussion that could be had around if that's so strong. I personally don't actually think it's that strong, like it's actually very beatable.
Yeah, same here.
But I can understand why people would lose to it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those, I know how to beat this. The question is, will I?
Yeah.
And I think that's the kind of more difficult question.
It was a very interesting challenge facing this all-cavalry army.
Yeah.
But that was a pretty dramatic moment. That what's going on?
I've got
My
him.
lance is charging the rear of your cavalry unit. Why don't you just die?
That's like a meme, isn't it? Why don't you just die?
Exactly. And the game ended. I had my lance cavalry left. He had his, and they were like just facing each other. Okay, that's enough.
Yeah, it looks really scary, but I think there's better lists. I mean, better cavalry list also for the
I tend
for
to
the
agree.
Starks. Yeah, good.
But yeah, so I mean, the Baratheon list is interesting. It runs a lot of what I like. Obviously, the Kingsmen now are, I think, a very good unit. I quite like the Kingsmen as a 7-point infantry unit goes. They're probably one of the better ones available. They feel very comparable to Silenced Men. Now we can argue whether or not Silenced Men have a better supporting cast. Maybe get some more support with like Vic or what have you, and bringing them back. But like, Kingsmen feel very comparable in what they do on the field. So that's a positive. Lightbringers obviously a very solid choice. Davos in combo with the Lightbringers is a very common combo. Dragonstone Nobles I like. I really like the new Dragonstone Nobles. I think they fulfill that support role really well. That a 4-point unit should be doing. They're not these 4-point glass cannon death balls that you do 2 wounds to and then they kill everything.
Yeah,
that was kind of weird.
It was. You're 1 wound away from winning a game, but instead you've given your game to the opponent because you only did 2 wounds and now it's going to kill you.
Yeah.
And Crescent Patchface and the new Axel. New Axel's actually very good. I quite like New Axel.
Yeah, same here. It looks really good.
Then again, his brother is very, very good nowadays with the Kingsman, because you can always, well, not always, but at least 3 times, you can remove your opponent from the crowns, and that's very, very powerful.
Yeah. But even, that's where Crescent's so good, isn't it? You just take crowns and pretend it's letters and...
Exactly.
Hey,
I guess you would kind of force your opponent to take crowns while he doesn't want to take them. And
what's interesting for me is I saw the Renly list, right? And actually I looked at the Renly list, genuinely looked at this and went, that's interesting. First of all, it's charismatic heir, which we do see, but not as often as we used to. I think.
Boisterous charisma. No, it's not. It's the other one, right?
No,
it's really one, yeah.
Yeah, with boldness and courage and Bolden. We typically don't see Renlys anymore anyway. We typically see Loras. More people playing Renly 2. Some people delving into Renly 3 Kingsguard or Rainbow Guard. Charismatic heir we used to see a lot, then we didn't, now we do, now we don't. Flips and flops. Rose Knights with Thornwatch Sentinel, fair enough. Brienne with Golden Company Crossbowmen, Riders of Highgarden, Elena, Courtney, Varys. Absolutely fine list.
There's a lot of control in those 3 NCUs.
Yes. And what's interesting is he didn't play it once, right?
Not a single time, no.
And that got me interested, is like, why did he take it? Because he played Free Folk with his Stannis list, Lannister with his Stannis list, Martell with his Lannister list, Martell again, and Greyjoy. So I was like, you've played Martell and Lannister, which are quite controlly. You've played Free Folk and Greyjoy, which are the other end, which are kind of like heavy damage or kind of board presence control. And he always felt going the Stannis list was the better choice.
Yeah.
Let me check what he said about the other list.
He told me personally that he made the list against my. I was testing this Asha list with the double. What do you call? What is the rule for the Asha that you cannot target?
Boisterous charisma.
Charisma, yeah. I was testing this double boisterous charisma in our last turn. It felt really good. I mean, have to say, especially against Freebolg. I mean, you cannot touch me basically. I mean, with the many, but it doesn't have that killiness. That's the problem, a little bit. But yeah, but even still, like, I still think that at least as a Greyjoy player, I think that the Stannis size list looks way more scarier than this one is.
Absolutely.
But of course, Seppo is a very good player. And he knows his stuff, and he knows Greyjoys also very well because he played them as well. So I think there would be something what I maybe don't understand. But still, the Stannis side. I would go for the Stannis side any time against Greyjoy.
Seppo is a great guy. There's only one flaw in him. He doesn't make mistakes, and that's really annoying. but he commented on the Renly list that he mainly made it for bluff.
Oh, fair enough.
And Olenna is a sort of a big buggy bird there and scaring people off. And I guess he was planning to play this against Asha Greyjoy or other boisterous charisma lists. Because Olenna, and also Balon, of course, Olenna could control Balon to some extent.
Yeah.
But still risky. I mean, you have to know when to kill it, and there has to be. You cannot have if you have what is dead when to die. Basically, you can stop that. Mm-hmm. It's not that simple. It's quite good against Balon, but still, it's not end of the world.
That's fair.
Well, and he didn't play it, so I guess.
Yeah,
it was for bluff.
Yeah.
Also, if I like to mention, I should have played my Victoria list in the last game mode. I think I made wrong choice.
Well, I would say that you made a wrong choice that paid off, but it didn't quite pay off. So yeah, you know, it's interesting. You've gone for a list that's we've seen this iteration of the 7 kind of come about quite a lot. I think it's being more popular. You opt for the Roderick instead of the Wendemir. Absolutely fine pick. I know that some people swear on Roderick for the Vic lists. I've got to ask, the Hedge Knights Glory Seeker, was this somewhat inspired by Mikkel?
Yeah, I mean, I have tried I'm looking Mikkel's lists quite often. It's not that I like making lists, but I also love it. It's so refreshing, you know. I like to play this game that I saw somebody's list and I want to try it and I try how it feels and it gives me lots of pleasure to do that. I don't know why. It's very interesting. And when I saw it, like Mika's list, I was like, oh, this makes so much sense and it seems good, very good.
Yep.
And it felt good. I played 2 times and it felt really good.
So there you go. This is a Mikkel approved list now being used not just down in Spain, but also up in Finland. Doing well. There you go. Absolutely love it.
Also, kudos for Jaakko. He's one of the top players in our club, and he obviously knows this. But he also often tries out different things to learn more and develop yourself as a player. So you don't just play the meta lists all the time. And I think you enjoy, like you said, trying this stuff out. So good for you.
It's interesting.
Maybe one day I will win you again.
For sure.
It's interesting because the second list is again like moving into the Golden Company crossbowmen, which I really like in Greyjoy. I know some people don't. I think they're great in Greyjoy. But also then going down the Peter Baelish bronze side as well. Peter Baelish, obviously, to put it bluntly, limited need for him anymore in Greyjoy. And yet you're still like, oh yeah, I'm going to do that. And I'll take Bronn, why not, you know? Just shoot people a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also one of my Martel lists. So against Martels,
yes.
we have lots of good players like Forrest Bond is playing lots of Martels, and Seppo used to play lately also only Martels basically, and so it's like, I mean, it's always been the hard thing to play against them. So that's my Martel list. So I think the Bronn is very helpful against that. But yeah, Seppo also we talked about this list about Seppo, and Seppo is also saying that I tend to agree also that you should try something else also than Baelish there.
Okay.
Yeah. Even though I also could understand like switching out Baelish for I think Ramsey and Theon or Reek in the Reapers, it would help against the Free Folk, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ramsey Reek. People love a little bit of Ramsey Reek, and I have to admit, I love a little bit of Ramsey Reek. And not only do I love a little bit of Ramsey Reek, and everyone else love a little bit of Ramsey Reek, but if you ever look on the attachment list, apart from Winterfell Guardians and Baroque, Theon is up there as an absolute winner, and Ramsey obviously slightly further behind because sometimes he gets taken with Ramsey Commander.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Ramsey Reek is a good choice.
And it seems really good in the Reapers.
Yeah, 100%.
Huge synergy.
Yeah.
The
That's one of
heal is
those-
like
The heal is amazing, yeah.
That's just one of those 8-point units that you go, God, it's an 8-point infantry unit. I could be taking Lance Cav. Then you play it and go, I quite like that. That was fun.
And then if it dies, you bring it back.
Yeah, that's right. Or it doesn't die, or you heal or
It
something. I don't
doesn't
know.
die, yeah.
Yeah.
I do 10 wounds to your 5 wound. No, you don't. I'm still
Yeah.
alive.
I've had games against Greyjoys that I've killed every unit in the list and still lost the game. One motherfucker came back and decimated what I had.
I mean, you should try. I played a Greyjoy mirror not too long ago, and I won't go into the details of the game as a whole. But basically, it was just two armies slugging the shit out of each other. And I think at one moment in the game there was like 6 combined wounds on the board. And you're like, oh, so there's only like 2 units left. And I'm like, no, there's 6 combined wounds on the board between 4 different units, 2
Exactly.
aside. We're all nearly dead all the time.
Makes sense. Makes total sense. I also tried the Mikkel's Dogmer list against other Greyjoys, and he was playing Theon, I guess, and he's I mean he's a good player, but he tend to make mistakes. But I played the game really badly, and I basically he didn't lost like any wounds in the game. And then I lost one of my the Mikkels in list. There was the Ramsey Theon Reapers. I lose the unit and then I win the game anyhow. I bring it back and then he kills everything after that. It's like
It wasn't in this tournament. It was some game earlier on.
It wasn't this. Yeah.
I need to get going in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, no, we'll wrap up. I do apologise, we got carried away there.
But hey, it's been a good chat, good fun.
Yeah. So obviously redoing got the Nordic event potentially next year. Still doing Finnish Nationals next year is planned. Yep.
Sure.
For sure.
Brilliant.
One of the things I wanted to point out, this is like a little bit bad news.
Okay.
But we contacted Simon for price support, and the last time wasn't any problem. Nowadays, this tournament we started like sending messages 2 or 3 months ago. They answered us once back, and after that, no message. Nothing. Not a single price support.
We should have said some of the prices from last year, because then we got a good price support, and now nothing. So that was.
Have you guys experienced anything the same? Have you heard?
Yes.
Mickey? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is unfortunately not new. All I can say to any potential TOs is good luck with it. It's really hit and miss. Some people get some stuff, they hear back straight away. It's all good. The Lowland guys were messaging for 6 or 7 months before they heard anything back.
Exactly.
So it's really hit and miss, and I don't have any tips. I just say, look, just message Organised Play, message Adam, see what you can get going, and if you get a response,
I think
great.
the Swedish guy said that Organised Play at Simon.com doesn't even work.
No, it doesn't surprise me if it doesn't. So you probably just want to message Adam and see what he can do.
Yeah.
But yeah, good luck with it. There isn't unfortunately any more sage wisdom I can give anyone.
Yeah.
It's whether or not they respond.
Yeah, and I think they should get their shit together in Europe anyway, because last year when I was the main TO, and we did get the price support, it came late, and I think it came in 2 different shipments. So I actually had to pay quite a lot of money to the customs to get the prices in.
Yeah.
To then deliver to the players. Even to Sweden, the guys had already gone back. So It's not very convenient to get stuff from US to Europe as price support. We actually have to pay quite a bit of it to get it in, and come on, guys, get your shit together in Europe. Europe is a rather big place, you know.
Yeah.
With a lot
Small
of players.
Awesome game and such a small things and what they're not doing correctly.
Yeah.
But yeah, small fault.
Yeah.
It'll get fixed.
We still had a lot of fun.
I believe it will get fixed, is what I'm told. You know? And on that note, I don't wanna leave us a negative tone in your mouth. But obviously, congratulations for running the event. You guys for doing quite well, making it to the final table, of course. Commiserations on not winning. But yeah, it sounds like you had an absolutely fantastic weekend. Again, the Swedes coming over. Wop, as the best Swede, gets to take at least that prize home with him. The pride of his country, knowing that he did nearly do it, but unfortunately didn't. But yeah, it's great to see, and I'm really excited if you can get a Nordic event going for Scandinavia. I think that would be brilliant. I know I can almost guarantee that the Danish community will be love to get involved with that. Obviously, Finland, Sweden, and potentially Norway. Although I don't know that many Norwegian players. But,
I don't know any. I know quite a few Danes, but
yeah, we'll find some.
I guess when we put out a Nordic setup, maybe they wake up from their hibernation.
So yeah, that would be great. Obviously, we've got some upcoming tournaments. We've got an event in Poland this weekend. Oh, actually, tomorrow, not this weekend. We've got a TTS event happening. This is a small TTS event for relatively newer players who are less common with the whole online scene, perhaps, or just less experienced players. So check that out. It's only a small event, and they're going to start as soon as they get 8 players. So check that out.
It's actually one of our club members organizing that.
Oh, it is. Fab. That's a really good idea. Just cracking on playing games.
I actually signed up, but now my elo went too much up, so I have to jump out.
Kick out.
Damn.
So there's an event happening in Hawke's Bay in New Zealand this week, by the way. Fantastic to see. Really happy to see the New Zealand guys playing. An event in the Philippines, another event in Poland, an event in Germany, an event in Amsterdam. Not Amsterdam, sorry. Rotterdam, technically. I think it was just outside Rotterdam. You may have heard of it, the Lowlands GT.
How many players will there be?
It's currently looking like, I believe, it's about 40-something they had signed up. It's 35, but they've got about 7 or 8 people on the waiting list, and that's not got everyone on it signed up fully yet as well. I know there are some names that should be on the list that actually aren't yet.
So, Jaska, is it you or Johannes winning that one? What do you think?
See, we're just having fun, and let's see how we get us. I mean,
they say they're going to have fun. He's going to turn up, and he's going to be absolutely armed to the teeth with 50 Tully Cavaliers and go, ha ha!
Well, that's the Finnish definition of fun. Crushing your enemies.
yes.
Yeah, the lamentation of their women. Oh no, sorry, that was Genghis Khan.
Yeah. Or what, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Oh. But yeah, no, this is looking to shape up to be. What I like about it, it's not actually the size of the event here that's going to be so interesting. It's the fact that there is technically.
It's so international, yeah.
Yeah, technically it's got this kind of like Netherlands core group, but actually it's only about 10 to 15 people from the Netherlands. There are a huge number of international players.
Yeah.
Be that Germany, Italy, France, the UK getting some people. You guys over in Finland have got a couple guys going down. And that's what you want to see. You want to see a right mix of different communities coming together. And I think that will be... I'm looking forward to watching this play out, if nothing else. So yeah, really exciting.
It's going to be awesome,
yeah.
I think.
No, yeah, I would have gone if it would not have been so close to our nationals, but good that we have a representation there to really measure out the level.
Who do you want to win, Teemu? If you could choose anyone off this list. Would it be-
I would want to win Jaakko one day.
There you go.
Thanks.
So not,
I've been banging my head on that wall for
so
quite
not
a
Johannes
bit.
then. Not Johannes. Screw him.
No. We have very, very good games. He won me by 1 point
Ooh.
in this tournament, and it was Varus actually.
Fair enough.
I took the horses, and I thought I was out of his range, and then obviously he spent a Varus token,
Great shift.
came
Oh
in,
no.
finished my skirmishes, and that decided the game more or less. But it was a really good game. I really had a good time.
I don't know if you guys can see the chat. Johannes has said that he really wants Jaakko to win. There you go.
Well, then I have to say, Johannes, I hope Johannes wins. But Johannes has won already PK GT, so.
May the best Finn win.
Oh,
But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be really good this weekend to see the results and obviously follow it along. There is also an event in Russia as well as another one in Poland. We've got a small event happening in Scotland in the UK and another event happening in the UK down in Walsall at Board in Brum. And of course, the other big event this weekend is Adepticon, which we mentioned earlier. Really hope that Adepticon goes well. I think they're up to, I mean, this is not everyone, but I think they should be getting about 30 players as well for the US scene, and there's a couple of Canadians going down as well. So I really look forward to seeing how Adepticon plays out, as well as the Lowlands GT. Then there's smaller events in Florida, Canada, Canada, and Shanghai. Shanghai Fight Club coming back again.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I love a bit of Shanghai Fight Club. Russia, Polish man. The Polish play so many tournaments; it's unreal. Another event in Hungary. The Budapest group, getting back together. Currently, no one signed up, but brilliant. Schmack and the guys. That's good to see. Kuti Fatty as well. And then Germany as well. There's so many this weekend. Wow. CT, Connecticut. Canada again. The second, that's the other one. This is technically not this weekend, but it's next Monday. They're running another A Song of Ice and Fire sim.com tournament for people who want to play online but using the simulator rather than TTS.
Oh yeah.
Getting that off the ground, and they just want to run another event because the first one went so well. They just want to get more games in, more practicing, so he can refine the sim in that sense.
I think there was an interview of those developers and Crits and Hits channel, so shout out for that.
They did one last week, I think it was, with the guys over there, and Chris is a really nice guy. Does a lot for the community already, even though he's only been in it for a relatively short period of time.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's created a lovely mod, simulator. And if you haven't checked it out, check it out.
Yeah, I should also try it out. I haven't yet.
It's a very viable alternative. I've played the game on it, and I'm obviously played a lot of TTS, so I have habits from TTS that don't translate that well to the simulator.
Okay.
But there's only a few small things as a player who's played the mod so much that I would want to see changed in the sim, and then the sim would probably be just as easy to use, and it would be a question of my circumstance as to if I used which one, rather than at the moment I think the mod is better than the simulator at this moment in time.
Okay.
But it's only
I haven't tried it yet. Then again, I haven't played TTS either because after the pandemic, it's been so fun to just meet the people and put the plastic on the table.
Which is what it's all about.
Yeah.
And with that, I know you've got to go, Teemu, so I'll let you guys go. Thank you very much for joining me. I always enjoy talking to anyone, especially anyone new. It's always interesting talking to new people, but also you guys as well. I know the community up there is great. And Teemu, you message us all the time randomly about things that have happened or cool stuff.
Totally random things.
It really is random stuff. Sometimes I'm like, Teemu will just send a message and say, look, here's me playing a game with this random person. And I'm like, cool.
Maybe not that really, but yeah. And I think, Jaakko, haven't we both signed up for the Invitational?
Yes.
At least I have.
I was going to ask. Yes.
So
good.
Mickey, we're going to see you there.
Yeah.
At the
definitely.
lake.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
excited.
waiting to go for a drink with the guys, with the all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I am really looking forward to it. I think we'll have some conversations closer to the time. But one of the things that I'm really looking forward to Invitational is obviously meeting a lot of international players.
Yeah, it's just
I've
a great idea.
Met a lot of them before, but genuinely, we all want to go for a drink on a Saturday night. I think we are going to have to find somewhere that can put up with everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, that'll be. I'm looking forward to that. All excited.
Yeah.
Anyway, good luck this weekend, and I hope you do well, Jaakko. I think you'll be fine. Go and win.
Thank you.
If
I don't make mistakes, like you always said.
I was going to ask. I can't ask. Is it going to be Stark or Greyjoy, or are you going to go completely off the beaten track? I shouldn't really know.
No, it's either of those for sure.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit undecided. I like both of the things.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Cool. And Teemu, obviously, good luck. And obviously, Teemu, good luck with the new campaign that you're starting up. As soon as you get that started, drop us a message.
Sure.
For any photos you've got of it, because I think a lot of people are looking for those campaign rules again, seeing it play out. And I know that we've shared them before, so we'll put another message out saying, look, here guys, use this thing. They use it all the time. It's great.
And there are people playing it around the world.
Yeah.
There are people from South America now. There's Joe Hagen from the US. They are currently running it. I've been chatting with him.
Cool.
So I'm happy that people are enjoying it.
That's brilliant. Lovely. Love it. Absolutely love it. Well, thank you very much, guys. Go on.
Yeah, I just want to quickly say that this is, that you're running this, Tourney crowds. Everything is awesome. That keep on going. So nothing else. Just
everyone says that.
And I think, I totally agree. And now with the new patch, things are more refreshed, and it's also showing in the show that I think, Mickey, I feel you are now enjoying the whole thing more than maybe 6 months ago. Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the positivity is really good thing.
I appreciate that. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
So we'll be watching again the next time.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
I'll get on better guests, though. You guys were rubbish. No, you guys have been great. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
And pleasure as always.
Thank you.
Until next time.
Until next time, guys. And until next time, everyone at home. Thanks a lot for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Ready? Aim!
There's too many.
Anyone see my mammoth?
Stop me.